Treat problems like puzzles to solve rather than obstacles to stop you. So I believe that one of the things that really determines success is how you manage troubles or problems. And one of the things I tell people is I really try to treat it like a puzzle. And the better I got at this, the easier life got substantially. I mean, one of the things that used to happen to me is I'd have a problem and I would just get overwhelmed and I would feel really frustrated and I would feel, really pissed off. And then I just started saying different things. I'd start saying, okay, there's a solution, there's a way out of this, I just don't know what it is. I haven't seen it yet, but it's there. Just making that statement changed how I behaved. It changed my approach to problems, which consequently really empowered me and liberated me. I can't say enough about that. It changed how I approached things. I no longer felt like I was being held hostage by a circumstance. I felt like, hey, there's nothing I can't figure out. Yeah, this is really hard, but I can do this. So if you start having a different conversation with yourself about problems, you really start changing how you approach the problems. You start treating them like puzzles. Instead of feeling like I'm a victim to this circumstance, you can sort of say to yourself, you know what? This thing has happened to me, yes, but I get to decide how I'm going to respond to it. So what do? How do you start taking a problem and using it like a puzzle rather than something that's just going to kick your ass? You do that by really changing the conversation you have with yourself. When something comes up, some issue, whatever it is, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, you have to really say to yourself, you know what? This is a solvable problem. I can fix this. I don't know what the answer is yet, but I can ask people, I can reach out to resources, and I can figure out how to get through this. If you tell yourself that over and over again, then pretty soon you just start doing it. You start actually using problems as puzzles rather than this thing that sort of overwhelms you. Now listen, I am a human being and an imperfect one at that. So I can tell you I do not do this perfectly all the time. There are days I get frustrated and I feel like, I don't know what the answer is. But what I do know is that there is a solution. And I always say, we'll figure it out. There's a way around it, over it, under it, through it. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I will. And you can too. So I want you to sort of think about every time you come up against a challenge this week, in the coming week, I want you to just say to yourself, that's fine, no big deal. I'll figure my way through it, over it, or around it. Just by stating that to yourself over and over again, you'll actually change the way you manage problems, and you'll actually feel better too. You'll feel stronger and tougher and more capable and competent, and that is pretty extraordinary. So go and start treating problems like puzzles.